Persona 4 Remake is basically an open secret now, with many signs leading to it releasing sooner than anyone anticipated, most notably being the website domain being registered. With this in mind, there's a lot of things to consider, some being what should the remake do? Keep things the same or shake things up? Was this necessary? Stuff like that. Persona 4 has long been my favorite game in the series, even after playing every other mainline title, so I figured I'd throw my hat into the ring and give my takes on this remake as well. I made a community post for this topic a few days ago, so we'll be including some of your responses in this video today alongside mine, so I hope you enjoy. The first thing I'd like to go over is the one question that is on most people's minds. Do we need a Persona 4 remake? If you ask me, no, we don't. But there's a bit more nuance to it than that. See, I don't think it needs one, but if there's one thing I've taken in from being in the community and making content for the series, it's that a lot of people do actually think it needs one. Something you need to keep in mind is most fans at this point started with Persona 5, so going backward from that title to Persona 4 can be a bit jarring for people. It's the same reason people didn't want to play Persona 3. This isn't to say Persona 4 is bad, obviously, but for a lot of people it seems they can't get over that barrier of it feeling more clunky or outdated than Persona 5. I grew up on the PlayStation 2. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 2 is still my favorite game of all time, so I have no problems or qualms with Persona 4 and how it works. But let's face it, in the modern era of gaming, visual presentation and graphics sell, so a remake of Persona 4 was inevitable since it would appeal to a broader audience. But then there's nostalgia on top of that. For long-term fans of the series, Persona 4 is a classic. Almost every Persona fan I talk to loves it, so players new and old are going to buy this game to experience it either for the first time or to re-experience it with a fresh coat of paint. Persona 3 Reload achieved the same goal to critical success, so Persona 4 is the obvious next step for their remake endeavors. Do Persona 1 and 2 need remakes more than 4? Of course, but from a pure business standpoint, Persona 4 is the way to go. P1 and 2 remakes would also be way harder, but that's a topic for another day. And based off the comments on that post I mentioned, I have some proof to back that up. Even people who said it didn't need one were excited for it, and those who couldn't get into Golden were also excited. There were some, of course, who thought the whole idea of it was stupid, but that was definitely the minority. Really, I wouldn't be shocked if Persona 4 Remake ends up being the most successful Persona game of all time. So to answer the main question, does it need a remake? Well, I guess that depends on who you are. I've personally had the same stance on it since Resident Evil 4 Remake dropped. It doesn't need it, but if it happens, then I'm happy. And since I'm happy for it, we gotta discuss what I want out of it for it to really meet my expectations. So let's go into that. Since Persona 4 is already my favorite game in the series, there are seldom changes I want made, but if I'm being real, the gameplay is by far the worst thing about this game. It's not the worst thing ever. I've played stuff like the Saints Row reboot and it doesn't get much worse than that. But even when compared to the likes of Persona 1 and Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, it's just uninteresting. The dungeon crawling is kinda boring and the gameplay is about as bare bones as it gets. Even as someone who hated the gameplay of Persona 3 FES, at least it was trying to do something different, but P4 took it safe, which made it lackluster in my opinion. In an ideal world, they would make the dungeons like Persona 5 Royal and the gameplay something like Metaphor ReFantazio, but that's definitely not happening, so let's keep it realistic. All I want out of the dungeons is to have them be more akin to the changes they made to Persona 3 Reload's Tartarus. You can keep the 8 to 12 floors or so like the dungeons have in the game normally, but just make them more interesting. To visualize what I mean, take a look at the 4th block of Tartarus and Persona 3 FES. It's not bad, but if you compare it to Reload's 4th block, it just has more going on in it. The floors are larger in size and have more going on, so that's all I want out of Persona 4 Remake's dungeons as well. Make each dungeon have a more unique design, make them more vast, and we'll be good. Because Persona 4's dungeons are really short. You can get an entire dungeon, story included, done in like an hour tops, which is way too short. I love the social sim aspects of Persona, I think most people do, but there needs to be a better balance between it and the dungeon crawling, which I think is a place Persona 4 lacks in. When I look through my recordings for Persona 4, I'm just like, bro, that dungeon took me like 2 seconds, so definitely make the dungeons a little bit longer. Alongside the dungeons is the main combat loop, and like I said, it's kinda uninteresting to me. First off, the balance between magic and physical is just dreadful. I mean, the magic lineup is so bad to the point where early game physical skills are better than late game magic skills. Unfortunately, this is still the case in Persona 3 Reload as well, so I don't see them fixing this issue. But seriously, make magic more interesting in this remake, just try, cause magic is so bad. The easiest way to make it more interesting that I presume they will do is to make light and dark skills actually have normal attacks rather than being delegated to the insta-kill skills. Not only would this give you more options for magic at a baseline, but it would also improve Naoto as a party member since she's on the weak side. I mean, she's actually worthless for boss battles, so yeah, give Naoto a better kit, please. While we're at it, if we really want to make magic have a chance against physical, bring the technical system from Persona 5 Royal to this remake as well. Some of you might scoff at this like, oh my fucking god, this moron just wants P4 Remake to be Persona 5 Royal too. And to that I say, fuck yeah, dude, because Persona 5 Royal has the most fun gameplay out of any of the games. Technicals are the only thing keeping magic relevant in Persona 5, because in vanilla P5, it was just as bad as P4, maybe even worse in some ways. So this is a no-brainer, the recipe for success is right there for them to use. I'm honestly shocked they didn't put technicals in Reload, so this is their chance to remedy that mistake. If they want to do anything beyond all that, all I ask for is a Theurgy equivalent. I actually think that kind of mechanic would work even better in Persona 4 Remake than it did in Persona 3 Reload. Cause think about it, the Midnight Channel is this crazy phenomenon that people are watching directly, so they could do some crazy game show thing to implement the mechanic. My idea for this is the broadcast attack.
Oh, there it is, broadcast attack.
Yeah, there's the broadcast attack from Karma.
Where they perform a duo attack like they do in Persona 4 Golden based on the composition you have in your party. I don't want them to do it like the Showtime attacks where you can kinda just activate it whenever. Give us, the player, a reason to run a party composition we might not otherwise run without these team compositions being met. That's just my take anyway, but I do think a Theurgy equivalent would make the gameplay really fun. And since the Persona 4 cast have a great synergy, I think it would fit right in. Also, make Rise's Navigator skills function like Fuka's do in Persona 3 Reload. Let us choose directly what we wanted to do at the cost of SP or the broadcast attack meter. That was one of my favorite things about Persona 3 Reload's gameplay, since it felt like we actually got to use Fuka in combat, however small it might have been, so I'd love to see it return. To sum up my wishes, I want the dungeons to be longer and more interesting, magic to be better, and a Theurgy equivalent. I don't think these changes are even that hard to do, so as long as ATLUS doesn't get extremely lazy, we'll be in good hands. Probably. You might be wondering why I didn't mention the story for so long, and that's because I only have a couple requests as far as story changes go. First off, can we please completely revamp or just do something with the Void Quest dungeon? That dungeon is absolutely atrocious. It makes the pacing of the game horrible, it makes the investigation team look dumb as hell, it's just not good. They can choose to either make it more like the anime where it revolves around Narukami himself alongside Mitsuo, or they can just do something new. I don't really care which they do, just make it better, please. The second change I have is near the end of the game. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but near the end, Yukiko just says some of the dumbest shit ever. This on screen is it's unacceptable. I know this is a small nitpick in the grand scheme of things, but dude, this like no joke made me view Yukiko way more negatively from then on, which is a shame because I liked Yukiko. If they can make that less egregious, then we'll be good story-wise. And since almost no comment on that post mentioned the story, I think most people love the story as is too. Actually, no, I lied. There is something really big I want to talk about because I only just thought about it. Make Marie better implemented into the story. This is obviously going to take after Persona 4 Golden more so than the PlayStation 2 counterpart. And if that's the case, they can take this opportunity to make Marie better. As it stands, I think Marie is by far the weakest part of Persona 4, and I'll roll my eyes every time I have to do the Hollow Forest dungeon. Considering how important Marie is to the overall lore, she needs to be better. In Persona 4 Golden, she's sloppily implemented through a tacked-on social link, and then forced in between the final two dungeons. It makes the pacing feel really dog shit near the end of the game, but the build-up and payoff is just unrewarding because Marie is so underdeveloped as a character. Sure, we help her explore the outside world and appreciate life more, which makes her existence all the more tragic, I get it, but it just wasn't done well at all in my opinion. Give Marie more screen time throughout the story itself, give her more interactions with the investigation team, and those changes alongside her social link would fix the only glaring issue Golden has for me. I'm honestly not sure how common this opinion is, but myself and many of my friends have this same opinion, so I'm sure many of you out there do as well. Let me know how you feel about Marie in the comments, I'm actually really curious. Beyond that, the last thing I really want is for all of the social links to be voice acted and for them to keep the different routes you can take. For example, with the Strength Arcana, you can choose to go with the soccer club or the basketball club, which completely changes the social link. In Persona 3 Reload, they cut the swimming team or whatever, but I didn't really care about that because either way you ended up having Kaz as the social link. But that would not work with Persona 4 Remake. Keep all the clubs intact. For the voice actors and actresses themselves, as much as I'd love to see them remain the same, I'm honestly not sure if they will be. I think Persona 4 already has a perfect cast. I even like Chie, who a lot of people seem to find annoying. So if they do decide to recast everyone, I don't know, y'all. Whether they do recast or not, I'm gonna keep an open mind toward it, but my initial thoughts are that I would really prefer them to stay the same, and a lot of you seem to agree with me on that. A lot of the comments on that post were people wanting to keep the voice actors the same, which goes to show how beloved this cast really is. Unfortunately, I do have my doubts that they will be the same. Johnny Young Bosch, who was the voice actor for Narukami and Adachi, quote tweeted a post talking about the remake domain being registered, and since VAs have to sign non-disclosure agreements, I feel like this could be a sign that we will not see him reprise his role. Not to mention the fact he's busy doing other series like the new Devil May Cry series and the new Bleach game, so if we don't see him or the others return, then I would not be shocked. Obviously nothing is set in stone. He could come back, he might not, the others could come back. I mean, we don't know, I'm just speculating. Only time will tell, but like I said, I would prefer if the voice actors stay the same. Not gonna lie, this video ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be, but I think we had a good discussion here today. I'm pretty damn excited for the remake, to be honest, and as someone who loved Reload despite its flaws, I'm pretty confident I'll end up enjoying this one as well. What do you all think though? Are you excited for it? Disappointed? Did you want Persona 6 instead? Any thoughts you have, feel free to drop them down below, and if you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and a sub. It helps the channel out a lot, and I'll give you a free cookie for doing so. Here you go, homie. It's been your boy Yandere Gogeta, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody, and have a great day.